Hello YouTube land, this is JBF and welcome to another Let's Draw. Alright, so this is my first voiceover type whatever thing this is going on right here. Bear with me, don't usually do this, but hey, first time for everything, right? Alright, so I didn't think to record this until I had already started. I think about an hour in, if that, maybe 30 minutes. I honestly, I don't know. Probably like 30 minutes. 20 minutes. Anyway, I'd already started, and so sorry about that. But what I basically just do is using that darkest color right there, just make a silhouette. And then starting with about the head area, I just start adding in lighting. And speaking of and the type of lighting I do, it's just lighting. I don't worry about values. Values can be a pain in the butt. And so I'm not sure if this counts as grayscale or like monochromatic something or other, but yeah. And I don't zoom in often. Like you see here, I basically only just zoom in when I have to do like the finer highlights or the finer shadows. But I like being zoomed out most of the time. And also, you'll see a whole lot of canvas flipping. Just a lot of canvas flipping. I have this, okay, everyone says it's good to flip the canvas. I totally agree. What I do is, though, the reason why I do it so often, there are two reasons. One, my shortcut key button is stuck. It's just weird, and so sometimes I'll do it once and it like double taps it or something, so all the crazy rapid flipping might be me, might be the keyboard, don't know yet. Probably will. I know, you just probably won't know. And the second reason I do it is because if I flip it a lot, then it'll be less likely for me to actually miss something. I won't get comfortable with it. Like, I won't like paint the entire thing, then decide to flip it, only to realize this whole thing is lopsided. I have to spend all this time repainting it or something. So I'd rather just flip along the way. That way you don't get too comfortable with what you're working with. Okay, yeah, here, robot arms. I am not good. I don't really usually do robot mech type things. So, yeah, that was really weird. So, I'm sure it's probably wrong. Oh well. And for the arms, I originally, my friend wanted it to be he won a contest thing. I was like, just give me a character, give me one emotion, pick joyful. So that's what I was going with. Hopefully it reads as such. So I wanted his arms in front, but his barrel of his chest is so big, I thought it would just be better to paint that first and then do the arms in a separate layer. That way it's not getting too muddy and whatnot. But yeah, I refer to this on Facebook as monochromatic painting to color, and I don't know if that's the right terminology, but it sounds fancy, so I went with it. And because it's not values, it's like, all right, the red is going to, in a black and white grayscale, red will read darker than, say, yellow. And it's a pain in the butt because I tend to be an overthinker. It's bad. I need, like, I don't know, a quieter for my brain half the time. So that's why I work better and more efficiently with lighting, because lighting I can do. I love lighting, especially if I have something that has like backlighting or a secondary lighting. So much fun. Love lighting. My favorite part of coloring. And so like I had this theory. It's like I had this theory about the whole coloring, the fancy schmancy color effects, because I tried the black and white to color using like a soft light layer or an overlay layer. No, I don't like it. It always looked washed out. And I think about maybe a month ago, I was just messing around in Manga Studio and I started using the color balance layer. And I was like, huh, well, that's cool. And theory upon theory, test upon test, I came up with this style, just doing the monochromatic painting and focusing on lighting instead of value. And then when I add the color in using the color balance layer, it will build. You can mess with the value then. And yeah, sometimes it won't be the right shade, but that's why I work with two types of correction layers. First, mainly of course the color balance. You can adjust, make it more red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, all that. And then the second one, which is also is about equally as important, would be the levels correction, because that right there, I like it. It's nifty. It's like a combination graph of the contrast meets brightness. All of it is like contained in that one little bubble. There's also a tone correction layer or something, but I don't mess with that one that much. I really like levels is my comfort area. And so later on you'll see me throw down the colors for the blue for the, I guess, his primary color or whatever. And then I will select that selection again and adjust the levels. That way it's a brighter blue and not such a dark blue. This right here is my favorite part of working. Like, I don't do mechs a lot, but when I do, I have fun with sharp edges, because then I can do like the hard highlights on them, and for some reason those are just fun to me. I have to be careful not to get carried away. All right, so right now I'm tweaking some of the just the lighting, because I want, if you look at the bottom of his back, there's some light coming from that way, and I wanted to make sure that was kind of consistent. So since I had it back there, I had to add it to the backs of his shoulder things and his actual back, that tiny little area. Also corrected some of the lighting on his that metal piece over there. Alrighty, now we're selecting. Going to do one color at a time is easiest. And when you do a level correction layer, it's all built into a mask, which is awesome. Masks are your friend. Never leave them, and probably take advantage of them to your utmost ability. So yeah, we're going to make a selection. Going to layer, new correction layer, And then I'm going to start off with color balance. And like I said earlier, you see I just threw the blue on there. Compared to, and right now I'm cleaning it up right now. Because it's easier to just kind of clean them up as you go. And I'll explain a bit why in a minute if I remember. Hopefully I remember. But you saw it was, the basic one was really dark blue. And I added a levels correction layer to lighten up closer to the reference. Still a bit dark, but it's fine. And then what you can do is you go to that mask layer and you right click it, go to create selection, and then select from layer, I believe is the order it goes in. And what that's going to do is just anything on that canvas in that mask, it will select it and make it really easy. So you can like reverse it or whatever. And the cool thing about selections is, and this is something I noticed while working on this, is that you can make your first selection, and then once that layer is all situated, make another selection, get that layer situated. And then once you have like those two layers, it gets a lot easier because you can just select that layer, select the first mask layer, and then make a selection from the second mask layer. But instead of create from layer, you can do add selection and then just invert it to the area you want. And that's basically what I did here. I put the blues down, did the color and the levels, and then I picked the golds, did those levels. And then for the metal part, I created a selection from the blue, selection from the gold, combined them, inverted them, and then took out the black selection, and yep, there goes the metal. Alright, so we're coming down to the end of this here. I did one more layer correction on top of the folder of just a blue to kind of just, or you could use any color really, just to kind of make the lighting a bit more cohesive and make it all look like it belongs there. Alright, till next time. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to thumbs up, subscribe, support, and share. Until next time, take care and happy arting.